enabling someone's failure is not a moral accomplishment. And so if you have someone who's either outright failing or worse, kind of drifting along so they're not, performing poorly enough to really come to your attention, but they're really not all in, it's like there's no reason not to sit down with them and say, like, you're not thriving. So what the hell are you doing? You want to drag your sorry carcass through this job, doing a hitting this in a second-rate manner for the next 15 years as you age painfully? Or do you want to go out and see if you can find something you can commit yourself to? Like, this is not a game. And so there's some pain in letting people go, but there's real pain in maintaining people in a quasi-failure situation. And so it's better just to say, why don't you go find something you want to do? And, people don't like change, and they might be all upset about the fact that that didn't work, but you lying about the fact that it's working isn't helping them. And then you could put someone in that position who's like pretty thrilled to be there and they're going to devote themselves completely to it. And then, God only knows how good that's going to be for them and the people around them.
Don't tell people about your problems. Do you know that 90% of the people don't care? And the other 10% are glad you got them. So you're better off keeping yourself.
If you're going to create a company, the first thing you should try to do is create a working prototype. Everything looks great on PowerPoint. you can make anything work on PowerPoint. But if you have an actual demonstration article, even if it's in primitive form, that's much, much more effective for convincing people.
Develop a workaholic mentality. What does this mean? It means that you start a little earlier, you work a little harder, and you stay a little later. In our society today, you hear all these people talking about take it easy, have balance in your life, relax, lean back, have fun at work.
The value of a college education is somewhat overweighted, and I think it's too many people actually spend 4 years, accumulate a ton of debt, and then often don't have useful skills that they can apply afterwards. And I think I have a lot of respect for people who work with their hands, and we need electricians and plumbers and carpenters, and that's a lot more important than having incremental political science majors. I think, so I think we should not have this idea that to be successful you need to have a 4-year college. That is simply not true.
To me, prosperity is total well-being. Prosperity is total well-being. Some people ask the question from time to time, Reverend Ike, is it right for some people to have so much while others have so little? I said, well, that's your choice. Don't criticize me for what I choose. I choose to be abundant. And, they used to say to me, well, why do you have so many Rolls Royces? I said, well, they're making them. Somebody's got to have them. Maybe one of the reasons I have so many is because you didn't choose to have one. But even so, whatever we choose, the universe will produce. So everybody is under the verdict of his own choice.
The greatest people are self-managing. They don't need to be managed. Once they know what to do, they'll go figure out how to do it, and they don't need to be managed at all. What they need is a common vision, and that's what leadership is. What leadership is having a vision, being able to articulate that so the people around you can understand it, and getting a consensus on a common vision.
The Macintosh example demonstrates how effectively a task force can innovate when it is bound together by a shared vision and given the freedom within the corporation to find its own way. The project also attests to what can be achieved when people are recognized for their contributions. Inscribed inside the casing of every Macintosh, unseen by the consumer, are the signatures of the whole team. This is Apple's way of affirming that their latest innovation is a product of the individuals who created it, not the corporation.